Hey, what's up everyone? Tim here from Everyday Tactical Vids. Today we're looking at the BSH3 from Beavercraft. So this is a Ukrainian company. They reached out to me to review this and one of their hatchets, which the hatchet will be an upcoming review. But as you know, a lot of stuff going on in Ukraine right now, so I wanted to support these guys as much as possible. Very cool knife, very reasonably priced. You're talking at around 40 bucks for this knife. You can see it's got kind of a, I won't say blacked out, but it's actually a blued blade. And so that'll help with corrosion resistance. European walnut handles there. I'll give you some of the details here in a minute, but just a cool looking knife. Comes with a leather sheath. Let me show you that real quick. There's your sheath. You can see very simple system. I really like this system actually when it's on your belt, just to go and take it out, take off the snap in order to get the knife out. It's just really easy to do. There's your dangler system on the back. You can also just run it through your belt if you want to do that. So once again, Beavercraft, you can see their logo there, pretty cool. Let me talk through some of the details here. 1066 carbon steel is your steel, 9.64 inches from end to end. Your blade length, 4.72 inches. Your handle length, 4.92 inches. The blade is 1.3 inches wide. The handle, as I mentioned, is European walnut and does come with that leather sheath. So a couple things right off the bat that stood out to me. Just the simplicity overall of the blade and the handle. Nothing too fancy. Obviously it is full tang. I didn't mention that before, but yeah, there's a simplicity to it that I really like. I do like the fact that you got a choil here, so you can so you can sharpen all the way down. And the finger guard is not overwhelming, but I'm not going to be doing tons of aggressive chopping with this. This is more carving. It does have a very sharp spine, so you can strike a fire steel with that, and you can also scrape with that as well. A little bit of a swell there, or I guess a contour. Swell would be kind of this way, but a little bit of a contour there. I find the most comfortable way to hold this is like this, and that gives me really good control with that little contour there in the handle. And the handle is smoothed out, so you know you can hold it in lots of different positions, and it's not going to be cutting into your hand. One thing that I personally like is just a neutral handle on most knives. I don't like anything that's got tons of contour, because if I want to readjust my hand, it's going to make it uncomfortable. So there's a look at this knife as far as some of the details. Now let's put this thing to use and test it out. All right, it's been super rainy out, so all the more reason that if I were to try to get a fire started, shave off some of this outer wood and get to the inside. So starting off with a little bit more of that, kind of getting some feathers. I'm not going to really baton this wood because it's so small, but I want to see if it can do some of that, a little bit more precision cutting, and you can see it's certainly able to do that. Now I'm going to chop these off and just pile them up, and then we're going to hit it with a fire steel a little bit. As you can see, it's certainly going to do fine on some of those smaller tasks. All right, so we are going to hit that pile of feathers in a minute to get a fire started, but let's just imagine we were out and we were going to set up a hook system where you can basically put a Y stick down like this at the bottom, and then you can hang like your kettle or something off the top. So, if we had to notch something, let's see how that would work. This is pine, so it's definitely quite soft. One of the things about pine, though, is that even though it's soft, it sometimes can require more precision, because if you cut into it too quickly, it can really hack the wood in a way you don't want it to. And so you got to be able to maneuver your knife effectively. Certainly a sharp knife is the best way to do that. But you could see quite quickly, there's a little notch for you. Let's do another one here. You can see those notches come together really quickly and easily with this knife from Beavercraft. Boom, boom. So this is the Exotac fire steel that I keep on my keychain at all time. Let's just give it a spark first, just to see if it'll even work. Yep, that'll work. Let's see if we can get this started here. Like I said, it is a little bit damp. Ooh, almost, maybe. Looks like it's gonna go. Oh, almost. Maybe that'll catch. Looks like it. There we go. All right, so what I have here are some pieces of pine again, and less than ideal for burning and also less than ideal for batoning. But I like to test knives with this type of wood as opposed to a piece of wood that's been cut, you know, at a nice flat. It's nice and flat. You basically have a 90-degree angle between the side and where the cut is, because this is more realistic when I'm out in the woods, right? So yes, if I bring a saw, I can saw it and then I can baton it. But I love bushcrafting and things like that. But I tend more towards survival situations when I think about knife applications and gear applications. So if you're in a survival situation and you just got a knife, you're going to be finding wood that you have to get into the drier parts of the wood. And so to do that, you got to baton into the middle. And it's often weirdly shaped. So we're going to try with these two pieces of wood and see what we find in the middle. And again, I'm trying to operate in a situation that's like, okay, it's less than ideal. So even this wood, this is what I could find around me. But if it was night was about to fall, it was getting dark, I don't want to go scavenging for the perfect type of wood. I just need wood that's going to burn. So that's why I'm using this. All right, so we're going to try with this piece first. There's a good chance this baton will break, but let's give it a shot. All right, so it's getting into it. That wood is definitely soft, but it is dry, or drier on the inside. Yep, that's nice dry wood in there. Let's flip it over here. Yeah, as you can see, as it breaks, it's definitely soft, but again, much drier inside. And there is, looks like some fat wood in here probably too. Batoning on a rock here. If you do it in a controlled way, once you get comfortable with it, you can actually do it on a rock. It's generally a better idea just to do it on another piece of wood on the bottom here, but I feel comfortable that I can do it in a controlled way, so that's why I'm doing it on a rock. Got some knots here. So there's a look at some of the wood. As you can tell, I mean, just by the coloration, this is much drier. The little bit darker here is going to be wetter. Much drier. This will burn quickly. And this guy did great. No issues, no dings. The blade looks great. Definitely dirty, but no issues whatsoever. I don't think I mentioned this before. We're looking at a Scandi grind there, which is really nice. All right, so this is not the end of the video, which you could probably tell because there's more footage to come with the timestamp you can see on the bottom there. But what I want to do is I want to use this more off camera, and then I'll report it and let you know what I think about it. Here are some initial thoughts. For the price point, I'm really impressed with this. And even outside of the price point, I'm impressed with this, right? So, yeah, the handle is neutral enough that I don't feel like it feels weird in my hand, but it's got a little bit of a contour there for me to lock in. I would say with large size hands, this will be comfortable. If you had medium size hands, I think it'd be even more comfortable. I like something a little bit thicker, maybe, but that's my preference. I tend to like something a little bit blockier than most people do. The grind, the blade, the cutting ability of the knife has been great so far. So if you're looking at, say, I mean, this is like walking on a line here, but if you're looking at like a Mora, like a Kanzbul or something like that, maybe this is something different that you want to get into. Instead of that kind of rubberized, more modern look, you can get something with a wood handle, which is really nice. Leather sheath, which is really nice. Again, long-term use, can't speak to it yet, but so far, quite impressed with it. And it's very bushcrafty looking. So whether it's a survival knife or a bushcraft knife, you know, that you want to use it for, maybe just a camp knife, like a belt knife, I think it's got a lot of applications. You can see the edge there. I mean, everything's in good shape from what you've seen on camera, and I have done a little work off camera as well. But I'm going to come back after more use with this knife so I can give you a more long-term perspective on it. But again, so far, I'm liking this knife quite a bit, and I love to see knives that are, you know, companies that maybe you haven't heard of as much before, right? So I've got a guy who works at this local Dunkin' Donuts, so I become buddies with him, and he's regularly telling me about different brands that he's finding, and that's great for me because I get exposed to companies, not just the ones I know, but other ones. So yeah, Beavercraft, this knife has been a lot of fun to use so far, and I'll report it in a minute to let you know kind of what the long-term use looks like, and then give you some final thoughts there in that wrap-up portion of the video. All right, guys, wrapping up here, talking about the Nightfall here from Beavercraft. This is a great knife. This is a great knife. So $40 is what it's going for on their website right now. And to get a knife like this for 40 bucks with good steel, with a nice grind, with a 90-degree spine, with a wood handle, with this leather sheath right here. I think that's just a great deal. Now these guys are well known for making a lot of carving tools, and so if you're into wood carving or woodcraft, this is a company definitely to check out. But as far as like a bushcraft knife, this thing is excellent. Like I said before, if you're interested in, looking at something like the more cans bowl or something like this, but you want something a bit more traditional, this could be a knife worth checking out. Here's a look at it in the sheath. As I was thinking about it, a couple of things came to mind. One is that, on the positive side, like I said, there's a bunch of pluses. On the downside, not a lot. Maybe if they made this button a little bit bigger, that would lock in a little bit more. But honestly, other than that, especially like I said, for the price point, I think this is a great deal. So I've got links down below. Check them out. Beavercraft, I had never heard of them before, probably 6 months ago, but now definitely a fan of these guys. So I'll be testing out one of their hatchets in a future review, and maybe some other products in the future as well. So yeah, if you own anything by these guys, let's hear your thoughts in the comment section. I'm just super impressed for a company I wasn't familiar with before. The Beavercraft Nightfall. Let's hear your thoughts and get the discussion started in the comment section now. Hey, thanks as always for checking out the videos here on YouTube. Please subscribe to Everyday Tactical Vids and click that little bell if you haven't done so already. We're on social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Tumblr, and Vero as well. More videos coming soon. Take care.